My older sister Megan was investigated for medical child abuse of her older child, my nephew. And this situation really tore my family apart. And it was a really big and difficult event in my life. And when my family and I were going through it, we ended up becoming estranged from my sister and my nephew because of it, because we believed that the abuse was happening. When we were going through this, I just felt like we were the only family on earth who'd ever experienced something like this, because this is not the kind of thing, every life has big tragedies inevitably, but this is not the kind that people understand or know how to support you through, or, even have ever heard of, or even maybe necessarily completely believe, right? I think you do face a lot of that, just disbelief, denial, not because of anyone's bad intentions, but just because of the shock that these cases inspire.
All right, you guys, so I want to talk about this post that is floating around. I don't know where it originated from, but the first thing I want to point out is that this is from 198 weeks ago, meaning that if this post is legit, it would have been put out April 26, 2022. And what do you know? That is when Andrea Dunlop first started her podcast, 2022. And although her sister Megan was investigated, charges were never brought against her. And Andrea Dunlop is trying to push the narrative that that is the standard when it comes to Munchausen by proxy. And I just don't agree. Now, this is supposed to be her sister's husband coming to defend her. Let me read it for you guys. It's from Andy Carter 79, a profile that I could not find. I can no longer let my sister-in-law smear my wife. She makes lots of claims that aren't true. MBP did not run in her family, as her sister, my wife, does not have it. There was an investigation initiated from my mother-in-law, Andrea's mom. We cut ties with my wife's family for our safety and sanity. Years later, my father-in-law, Andrea's dad, made more false allegations that caused harm to my family and especially our children. I found it suspicious that Andrea was writing a book about MBP, and the false allegations were an attempt to increase book sales. Andrea says maybe she'll hear this and come home, but that makes zero sense. My wife is not missing and is a great mom. Andrea does not love or care for her sister or our kids. After going through dependency court and the judge ruling in our favor, NBC covered story, Andrea contacted a police detective to try and cause further harm for our family. We have attempted to move on, but can no longer stay silent. Why does the instigator get to be the victim and slander people on a podcast? Money? Question mark. Or is it because a bad decision was made years ago and some people can't move on? Extremely interesting, you guys. So that was the first time I've actually read this, but I've seen a lot of people posting it. And I just want to point out that Andrea doing an episode with Gypsy did not prompt this comment. It is old. Y'all already know I was on the fence when it came to Andrea's story, and I've been looking into it, and I'm still looking into it. I'm going to get to the bottom of this because, babe, did you just sell your soul for money like somebody else? Gypsy Rose Blanchard, birds of a feather and all. As always, thank you for watching. Please like, follow, reshare, and comment to keep this conversation going. And do you guys think that comment was really left by Andrea's brother-in-law?